Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Those South China Sea accidents, it's not Namor or Aquaman, so don't sweat it.
What's up, Chris?
What's happening?
I don't know. What were you
I
saying?
saw Brightburn.
You saw Brightburn.
Gotcha.
What'd you think?
It was quite good. I mean, it was a good off-take of Superman.
Right, if things went sour, right?
And definitely you would like it. You would like it.
Okay. Was the ending good or was it shit? Don't say what happened.
It was actually quite good. I have to say the way they resolved it. There was all I'm going to say is this: at one point, I was yelling to the mother to go someplace, and eventually she does.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna leave it.
Well, it made $15 million. It only cost $5 million to make. So
there should be a sequel, but during the ending credits, you've got this conspiracy theorist guy talking about these other two that sound similar to Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and one of those two should be their next one. It should not be a direct spinoff from Brightburn Part 2. It should be one of these two other.
Oh God! All right.
Because like I said, it does great as a one-off.
Okay. I wanted to talk about Terminator Dark Fate because me and Chris were talking about it before, off air. And all right, so Chris, why don't you? I know we talked about it, but why don't you explain to everybody what they're actually doing?
So this isn't confirmed or anything. This is just a running theory that I've heard, which to me makes a lot of sense because. From what we've heard, they're trying to make this apparently like a passing the torch kind of movie, apparently.
Right.
So the running theory right now is that, and again, this could be what the movie's about, so we're not spoiling it. If you watch this and this is what the movie turns out to be, this was just a guess. The character that they're trying to protect, I don't know the actress's name, nor do I know the character's name in the movie, but there's a character in this movie that Mackenzie Davis's altered human is trying to protect.
Right.
And Sarah Connor in the trailer says, I used to be her, or I was her, like referring to the fact that she was in the same position that this person was in.
Right.
So the running theory right now is that because Skynet sent Terminators back in The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, along with Kyle Reese being sent back in The Terminator, that the timeline has been basically disrupted from what it originally was. We have now arced into another timeline where John Connor is no longer the leader of the humans in the future. Apparently, what has now taken place is that either this girl that they're trying to protect becomes the leader or one of her children becomes the leader. The theory right now is saying that it would make more sense for one of her children to become the leader. And that's why Skynet is trying to kill her. It's basically the same plot from The Terminator, except the events of Terminator and Terminator 2 have happened, which is why Sarah Connor knows about what's going on.
See, I have a massive problem with this because, one, like to copy directly off of Terminator, and to say, oh, all right, so now Judgment Day is going to happen 20 years later, so now this is the new person that's leading. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that there could just be anybody that's a new leader, because the way they made it sound was like John Connor was only he could be the leader. Like nobody else could. He's the end-all, be-all, the savior. So now you're making it like everything they've done, they've averted Judgment Day. So now he becomes a boring person. Like he doesn't even have a resistance to be a leader of. And because it happens like, let's say, 20 years than expected, he's not the leader of anything because it's not happening when he's older. So he's just there and like doing nothing.
Right.
And the whole thing about destiny and all that other, it's nonsense. Like you just destroy. I'm glad there's no Terminators, but they're still coming anyway. You destroyed your destiny. Now you're so like unimportant that the Terminator won't even go after you now. They won't even go after Sarah Connor. Like, they don't even know who they are. Because maybe they don't know who they are. Maybe timeline is erased according to them, and they don't know that he would, like, this is a new timeline. So how would they know who John Connor and Sarah Connor is? So automatically, something happens and they're coming to be again, but like maybe 20, 30 years later than anticipated. So now there's a new, I just have a problem with just anybody being a leader. Like, that's just, it doesn't work like that. Like, you know, I've never been under the philosophy of, like, say with Spider-Man, right, that everybody could be Spider-Man. Everybody could be Iron Man. No, it's not that way. It's not. Not everybody gets a trophy. Not everybody could be John Connor. Like, I don't believe it, and I don't like it, because then it basically, you crapped all over your first movie and second movie. So now you're telling me, Chris, I mean, technically, Terminator 1 and 2 are pointless. Like, you don't even
They're not pointless. They're not pointless because without those two movies happening, the events would have never been changed. Thus, this movie never would have happened.
Okay, but still, like, they're insignificant now.
Here's the thing, though, and this is the same problem that I had with Genesis. This has been my overarching issue with these Terminator films, like the latter ones after Salvation, because I feel like, even though I didn't really like 3 and I thought Salvation was just okay, they kept on this kind of like coherent storyline, like we were still telling the same story. Now I feel like with Genesis and with Dark Fate, we're like jumping away from the main story and we're starting to tell new stories, and it's like you never finished the first story.
Right.
We never got to see in a film the humans defeating Skynet. And there's a lot of people like, well, you don't need to see that. They told us, like, no, you do.
Yeah.
You've got to show that at some point, because these movies have been leading up to John Connor's the leader, John Connor's the leader, he beats Skynet, humans win, yada, yada, yada. But we're never going to see that. And that breaks the show, don't tell. Don't tell me that they beat it. Show me. I want to know how. How did they finally defeat Skynet? How were they able to beat an AI that is so advanced that it literally almost wiped out the human race in a day? I want to know how they did it. I want to see this. I want to see the system get so basically afraid that it was like, I have to change time because I'm going to lose. I want to see this, and I feel like they're like, nope, you're getting all these new stories, and it's like, I don't care. I don't care. You never finished your first story. That would be like if in Return of the Jedi, they were like, there's a new villain. Forget Vader and the Emperor. They're over there. Like, where are you going? Come back.
See, here's the thing. If I was handling the movie, and if, let's say now this is timeline 2, right, in the future, going to timeline 1, basically, right? And if the Terminators don't know who Sarah Connor and John Connor are now, right? The moment she appears on screen taking them out, I would immediately have not just one Terminator, a whole bunch of Terminators in the past, but I would have them, like, try to find out, well, how the hell is she? Who is she? And then research history and then find out that they lost. They had a timeline that they in the future, this is all that, and everything was erased, and they have no memory of it. There's nothing happened. Everything got wiped. So they try to, like, do something to, like, because that's the thing. It's like now everybody's confused because, all right, Judgment Day didn't happen, right? And Skynet wasn't launched, right? So, like, how the hell do you have it still happen anyway? It shouldn't happen now. So,
yeah, that was what we were all asking when they were like, we're making a Terminator 3, and then we got that bullshit excuse, oh, it's inevitable.
Yeah, see, I don't go for that, but here's the thing. I would do a storyline where all those Terminators you saw, let's just say in Genesis, I know it doesn't count, but they just put Terminators in the past just to be deactivated, so that way there will be a trace of it to recreate them in the future. Just leave them there. Because, like, the whole thing is that while one of those suckers exists, then the timeline could continue. They could replicate themselves. They could have one Terminator building more Terminators in the past. That's what they should have done. They should, instead of going after like Sarah Connor and Sarah Connor Young, and like just have Terminators building Terminators in the past, even if it was in 2019. And then they create the AI, they start Skynet from the future in the past. Like, not man, they did it. And they launch it. And they basically self-create Judgment Day. You know what I'm saying?
I would just get rid of the time travel altogether.
Yeah, but that's impossible because
no. But just, not get rid of it in universe. I'm saying don't write a story that requires it.
But that's every Terminator movie's been about time travel. How could you not do time travel?
Well, except for Salvation, that's the problem. Is that every single movie has had time travel in it, except for Salvation.
Right.
And they've never established the rules. Now we've flown off the rails. So get rid of the fucking time travel.
So in other words, in his attempt to fix Genesis, he screwed it up even worse.
I don't think he's trying to fix Genesis, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of things in this movie that are borrowing from Genesis. And I don't know why. I don't know what the thing that I really don't like about this trailer and so far about this movie is that it seems like it's just borrowing things from the other Terminator movies and saying, look, you guys liked this in the other one, it's in this one too. And it's like, but so?
But maybe I'm thinking too much of him, but didn't he have set like rules when he did the first and second Terminator, like a Bible of the Terminator, how things are supposed to be? Or he just did it on the fly?
I'm pretty sure he didn't, no.
He didn't. He just did it on the fly?
Mm-hmm.
We like to think that these people create it that way.
I'm telling you right now, I said this even when he got it back. Just because James Cameron got this back does not mean that it's going to be good. It does not guarantee that. It's the same rules when people say, well, Toho made a Godzilla movie, it should be good, right? Well, Shin Gojira. You know?
Yeah.
So just because and again, I keep saying James Cameron did not direct this movie. This is not his vision. This is Tim Miller's vision. So whatever he's trying to do, as long as James Cameron is okay with it, that's the movie we're getting.
I just don't understand why we're doing it. I don't.
This movie boggles my mind. I really do think that it's like you've been saying, that they literally just made this movie so he can make a story about Sarah Connor.
Yeah. But that's the whole point. There was no script. There was no nothing.
I'm telling you right now, if anybody, and again, I might be wrong because we haven't seen the movie yet, but if anybody thinks that there's going to be some sort of like amazing thing with the Terminator in this movie, other than the fact that it can replicate itself, I think we're all going to be severely disappointed, because I honestly think it's going to be fodder for I almost said James Connor, for Sarah Connor and for Mackenzie Davis, because I think Mackenzie Davis is going to be a thing that transcends all these movies now. I really do.
Right. She'd probably be in the movies from now on. But see, my point is, though, it is true, though. He was interviewed. He said it. I need to get my ex-wife. I need to get her to show them how it's done. And that's how Terminator 6 came out to be. Like, he got the rights back, everything. It was like, he just wants to show people that he can make a better movie than Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, but this movie is not making more money than Wonder Woman.
No.
And that's his purpose, though. And he probably went to the company and he says, I want to do this. And they're like, yes, Mr. Cameron, whatever you say, because, absolutely, okay. Nobody's going to tell him no, because he's doing all this stuff with Avatar and everything. So it's like, all right. Just like I saw that interview with Ridley Scott recently. He's like, Disney wants to do it. No more prequels. No more, like, it's either Ripley on or Ripley. Like let's go. And they want to make the thing evolve. They don't want to keep going in the past and messing.
He's doing his movie.
He's doing it.
He's doing the sequel to Alien Covenant.
He is. They're going to do it that way?
Yep.
Alien Awakening.
Probably. I'll tell you, I'll say this. if this Merlin movie comes out and it does well, he's going to have control of Alien for years.
Oh, I know that. Well, first of all, we've said this. Before he signed for that, he said, stipulation. I'll do this, you pay me this, but I want to be guaranteed to do an Alien movie. I heard that was in the contract.
Probably.
Like, that is he solidified his presence with Alien.
He apparently did that before they even bought Fox.
Correct. So, he's a smart guy. He's not stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He's not stupid. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll do Merlin, but I'm doing Alien too, right? And it's like, sure. I mean, wouldn't you, if you want this thing to be done so bad? Look at the lengths that movie companies did just to appease, what was it, Christopher Nolan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I want Friday the 13th movie with Paramount. Give him the rights for a couple years. Okay. Like, all right, that's nice. He's a Friday the 13th fan. Has nothing to do with whatever, but okay.
When you're a proven success and they come to you like, you can ask for weird things and they'll cave in their power.
Instead of asking for like M&M's, orange M&M's in a bowl, I want Friday the 13th rights with Paramount. They're like, okay.
See, if I was ever a director or a producer or a screenwriter or something like that, and I ever did a movie for like Warner Brothers and Legendary, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it, but you've got to make another Godzilla movie.
Right.
And then they'd be like, what? They'd be like, yo, yeah, no, for real. And then hopefully I get my way. So,
now that like John Wick thinks he's all big, having a bigger body count than Jason, I think that Jason needs to take him out.
I want to see somebody.
We need to see him go to Crystal Lake.
Versus with
I think.
Somebody said that the villain of John Wick Chapter 4 should be Hugo Weaving, and in the trailer he should go up to him and go, Mr. Wick, like he used to say Mr. Anderson.
Right.
I was like, yeah, do it. Do it.
You know what, though? It's like Keanu Reeves don't age, but everybody else does.
It's okay.
I don't know. And now this big conference, all they're planning right now, the hell with everything else, they're trying to figure out how to get Deadpool in the MCU where it makes sense. And then everything else will flow naturally after that. So they're like, well, they want him with Spider-Man, but they don't want Sony to make the money. So they're like, well, who can we put him in? What movie can we do? What is the story? How is it going to make sense? I told you, like, all you have to do, right? You just make it that he knows about Thanos. He mentioned him in Fox. That he just, he traveled a lot. He knows he exists. He wants to take him out. He wants, like, he's just bored. He wants to fight him, right? So he comes late to the party. That's the best storyline ever. Like, he shows up, where's Thanos? Like, that'd be the funniest shit ever. Like, but like, he mentioned it by name. They can do it easily, And then he causes such a shitstorm that, like, the X-Men and Cable and everybody follow him or whatever, and they come to our universe. That's it. Because they're like, what the hell's happening? And he's, or maybe Doctor Strange is like, hey, dude, stop creating 1,000 timelines. That's perfect. He was going around. He had time travel device. He's going crazy. He's changing timelines like nuts. Doctor Strange steps in. Hey, stop. That was perfect storyline. It's easy. I don't know why they make it like it's so difficult. I don't get it. I mean, what do you think, Chris?
I don't care if we ever see Deadpool or not.
He's their number one priority, dude.
I'll put it to you this way: whatever movie they put him in, I'm not going to see, so it doesn't matter to me.
Wow, you hate him that much?
I don't like Deadpool. I don't think he's funny at all. I think he's highly overrated, and I would not be upset if they never did anything with him again.
I mean, he's not going to appear in the Black Widow movie because that was his wife. I said that. I don't think that's, you imagine they just throw him in there and it's like, oh shit, that would be a shitstorm. But Yeah. I don't know. But that the next thing today we were talking about was they want to do Ultimates. They want to do like an Avengers team that I guess travels around in multiverses, like throughout the multiverse. But they're like the Avengers, but they call them Ultimates. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, you should just keep Avengers, really. I mean, Ultimates is the thing that they created that didn't work, that they tried to replace the Marvel Universe with the Ultimate Universe, and fans didn't take to it. Although they did like stuff from the Ultimates, they didn't take it. They didn't accept it. So it got destroyed. The universe got destroyed. They just recreated it recently, but like they got beat too. Like our universe beat their universe. So it was like, okay, but I don't know if that is a wise thing to do, because what would be the purpose of them just going around in different timelines? But like,
because DC, in this case, they're trying to copy off of DC.
What?
They're trying to copy off of DC's probably TV series by them having a multiverse.
Well, no, Marvel always had a multiverse.
I know, but still, they're seeing how well
they're not copying off DC.
They're seeing how well their cartoon franchise is doing. So
I don't know. But what else is going on, Chris?
Try to dip into that little inkwell as well.
So I thought this was pretty funny.
Okay.
And this really got people riled up today for some reason. But I thought it was funny. I was just like,
okay.
Fantastic. So I guess Godzilla King of the Monsters got released in some of these like Spanish-speaking countries or something like that.
Oh no!
And it got mainly positive reviews, so that's good. Okay, it made money in China as well. It's doing fairly well over there. But I thought this was very funny. There were some critics who didn't like the movie.
Why?
And they cited a couple of main reasons, which I just thought were hilarious. And I was like, did you watch the movie? So one of the things they said, they were like, I was kind of bored. And I was like, okay.
Bored?
Sure. Bored. Okay.
Why?
I don't know. They didn't cite these reasons. They were just like, I was kind of bored.
Bored?
One person said, I wanted to go see Aladdin. And I was
what?
like, that's a valid criticism.
First of all.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. It gets better. The main reason that they didn't like the movie, most people who gave it a negative review, not all of them, but most of them, were, and I kid you not, they were like, yeah, there was too much monsters and there wasn't enough human drama.
It's a monster movie.
And I said, wait a minute.
What?
This is the reverse criticism from 2014.
Oh, God damn.
I was like, listen, if you go into a movie called Godzilla King of the Monsters and you don't think there's going to be a lot of monster stuff, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. I don't understand.
A monster movie.
Like, why ask people that are not Godzilla fans that they probably never seen a Godzilla movie before? Like,
one guy said it was okay. I'd only ever seen the '98 movie, and I was like,
oh my God.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel, and you know what's sad?
It's like somebody's. You know what I think is happening? Can I tell you what I think's happening? We've said it plenty of times. Godzilla comes out, Avengers Endgame is done.
Yeah.
Like common sense. We've said it, right? Now, yes, I'm a big Marvel.
That would be like saying I went to see Avengers Endgame. There's too many superheroes.
Yeah, but hold on. So like, I'm a huge Marvel fan, right? So I want Avengers Endgame to beat Avatar, right? But I'm a huge Godzilla fan too. So like, I want Godzilla to be number one. So I'm not going to be like a dick, like trying to sabotage Godzilla so Avengers Endgame can get that little millions here to beat Avatar. That's fucked up. So like, listen, if you didn't get the money already, it's Godzilla time. That's it. That's like the way I work. It's like Godzilla. It's his time now. This is it. We're ready for Godzilla, right? Get your money, beat Avatar before Godzilla comes out, and if you can't, then try to get whatever leftovers is left because Godzilla time is up. Now it's time for Godzilla. That's it. Forget everything else.
Endgame had its time.
Right, let's do it. Do what you got to do, and now it's Godzilla. So, like, I'm not going to, I think they're trying to sabotage Godzilla so that way Avengers Endgame could stay afloat a little bit. I think.
I was going to say, you know what's really sad is that I can foresee this being kind of the same reaction that main critics have. Like, not the general audience, but, like, main critics. Because they all liked, or most of them liked, kind of the reserved approach that 2014 took.
Right.
I feel like this one, which we know just blows the lid off of what they did. They're going to go into this and be like, there was too much action and there wasn't enough human drama. And it's like, what? What do you want? Like, what do you want? You want the movie to be 7 hours long so there can be an equal amount of both? Like,
I know. I just feel it's karma because Marvel Comics tried to make their own Godzilla called American Kaiju or whatever, where he's exactly Godzilla but the American flag on him. And I think it's kind of karma that Godzilla's going to be the one to end everything right now.
I don't even think it's. I don't think it has anything to do with Marvel. I just think that they asked the wrong people. Why did you get? And like I said, most of the reviews were positive. Everybody was like, it was fantastic. But there were just these ones that came out that.
No, but don't you think they purposely asked the wrong people because they wanted to fail?
No, I don't.
No.
No, because these were third-party sources. So I mean, it wasn't like people from Disney were asking people to do this. So it was just like, I think they just happened to ask the wrong people. But again, they asked mostly the right people because it was mostly positive. So I think it was just they asked a group of people, and there were some in there that didn't like it, and these reasons that they didn't like it just don't make sense.
Mm.
Hey, if you really wanted a human drama, you don't go see Godzilla King of the Monsters.
No.
I don't know what to tell you.
It'd be like going to Burger King for health food.
Right. It's like you're in the wrong movie. You know what type of movie this is, and even if you haven't seen a Godzilla film yet, you can probably guess.
Yeah.
You can probably say this is probably going to be a monster movie, and that's usually like a disaster movie. So I'm assuming that it's this. I just thought it was funny that so like I was expecting valid criticisms, like, well, this is what I didn't like about. But some of these things that they said, when I heard that there wasn't enough human drama, and that kept repeating, I was like, oh my gosh, this is 2014, just in reverse.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is hilarious. And you should have seen some of the reactions from people who are like hardcore Godzilla fans.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, this is like asking a woman what she wants to eat. They don't know what they want. Like, I was like, it's true.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. It was utterly hilarious. But on another topic related to Godzilla.
Okay. Not
going to spoil anything here, but I have seen what the after credit scene for this movie is.
For what, Godzilla?
Yes.
Is it good?
I am so excited for Godzilla vs. Kong now.
Oh,
my level, like, because before I was like, I gotta wait and see. I saw this after credit scene, and now I'm like as hyped for that as I am for King of the Monsters.
Wow.
It was quite fantastic, I must say.
Wow.
So definitely stay after the credits for that one.
Of course. And what's the runtime in Godzilla?
I think it's a little over 2 hours.
Okay. At least it's not Endgame hours. Like that was long. So.
You know, I wanted to bring this up. I thought this would be an interesting topic for us to talk about. This could probably be a whole cast in itself. But
okay.
I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with kind of like the reactions of Endgame.
Randomly.
I'm seeing a very... So, Endgame, from what I'm seeing anyway, I'm starting to see that... Remember how when The Force Awakens came out, everybody loved The Force Awakens?
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody hates The Force Awakens?
Wow.
I'm starting to see that with Endgame.
Oh, they're hating it now?
I'm starting to see... I have seen a lot of videos saying that Endgame is very bad. And I've watched. Now I don't agree. I liked Endgame, but the reception for it is starting to sour. It looks like, and I thought that was very interesting.
I mean, in other words, you think that it was all hype, like it was hype. Everybody's like, yeah, like your team.
Yeah. And then when they got the finished product, they were like, oh.
And then they thought about it, and they're like, oh, so they're
it was like
5 years later.
Yeah, you thought it was great when you saw it, and then you thought about it, and it was like, not so
like,
much.
oh, so the whole universe, like 5 years later, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I still think it was excellent, but if you really think about it, the only reason everybody appeared 5 years later is because he didn't want his daughter altered. Like, he wanted her to exist. He wanted nothing to prevent that. Like, so that's like the most selfish. It's like, thinking you kind of ruined the whole universe. And like,
well, that and Ant-Man was trapped, but.
No, yeah, but I mean, yeah. What? See, that's another thing too. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna start going into a whole thing cast again on that.
I thought it was interesting because that's the end of the first story. So like now that's the kind of like well, I guess you could say Far From Home is the jumping off point for whatever's next. So like.
But the problem is though, they had no idea what they were doing in Far From Home though. Like when the Russos found out, they're like, oh. Okay, but then they're not going to say anything against it. Although the Russos did go after Venom, if you remember.
Yeah.
The Russos said flat out that's not the same universe. Like, so they didn't even, because was it Kevin Feige didn't even give us a straight answer, but they said nope. So I don't know I honestly don't think Marvel's going to be too pleased with some stuff that's going on in there. But they just want to like get the contract re-signed,
Basically, yeah.
And see, the problem is if you put Deadpool in Spider-Man 3, they're going to say, all right, well, we'll let you do more movies, but we want more Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Sony. And then you're going to have an issue because, like, don't put him in the Spider-Man movie. As much as I want to see, first of all, it's not going to work because they're two different ages.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was our Spider-Man, like the same age as Deadpool, yes. But he's a kid, and Deadpool's not. It's not going to work. Like, I don't think people understand that. Like, you can't do everything you want to do in the Spider-Man movie because he's a kid. He's not, like, you can't have Kraven the Hunter bury him alive because he's a kid. It's like...
Yeah.
You can't do half the storylines. When he grows up, yeah, all right. But right now, like, that was the whole purpose. It's like, oh, we got to get him. He's a kid. We got to do this. Like, may he stay in the role when he's an adult. That would be even great. In his 20s or whatever, and boom. I don't know. I think that we're going to have a mess with Far From Home that I don't know what Marvel's going to think now after that. Because they were surprised by it, if you remember, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, like, doorways opening the universe. That's great. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, oh, okay. And next thing you know, they're making some phone calls. Yeah. The only reason they did that is because they want to bring Venom into this.
Of course.
I think so.
That's what they're doing.
Venom did so well.
Well, you know what I'm asking is that in the trailer, Nick Fury tells Parker, he says, the snap opened up. Which one? We have 3. Everybody's assuming it's the one with Thanos, but it would make more sense.
It was the third snap.
I would think so. Or the one that the Hulk did, because...
It was the 2 snaps that were too close together.
Yeah.
That's what it did, because it was like overloaded.
If it was the Thanos one, how come it took 5 years for all this to happen, So it's like...
See, I just don't understand how we're going to have Thanos in Eternals. Like, how are you going to be able to see the movie with... I know it's going to be in the past, but then
it's going to be a prequel.
I know, but then people are going to be like, oh, Thanos, like,
I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a major selling point for it.
Yeah, I know.
That's
the only selling point. That's the only selling point.
That's true. That's true.
The only reason he's in it is so it doesn't bomb.
Basically, yeah, you're
That
right.
shit was bombing. You know that. I knew that. Like, even though you got Angelina Jolie, what do they do next? They don't like the reactions. They're like, oh, did we tell you we have a gay superhero? It's like, and people are like, oh, all right. Like, didn't we have that already? And they're like, Thanos is in it. Oh my God! Like people like, what? That was it. That was it. That's all you had to do. You want to see baby Thanos with his dog? I mean, like, come on. It's like, God. They probably have that. Like, Thanos will snap his dog's neck. So,
No. He snaps his fingers and the dog disappears.
he's practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a funny thing if they had somebody did a comical thing where Thanos is snapping to the music and you see people constantly phasing in and out.
Or he says something like, "You want me to just snap my fingers and make them go away?"
The only regret I have is we didn't have a rematch with the Hulk and Thanos.
Oh yeah.
I kind of feel that. I mean, I know it's not. I wanted my Hulk in there, not Professor Hulk. He didn't do anything. I mean, yes, he snapped, but like he's like, it's like, come on, Mark Ruffalo, come on, where's our Hulk?
Well, I always thought it was funny too that he was like, most of the energy from the stones is gamma radiation, and I was like, that's convenient. Like,
But you shouldn't be hurt then. I tell you, if I was doing it, I would have it that he had a nervous breakdown after that. Flipped out, and the Hulk reemerged, and Banner's gone for now. And just do that because, it's boring. It's boring as F, him as Professor Hulk.
Well,
you could never do a Hulk movie like that.
Imagine how hyped people would have been if, like, during that final battle, like, Banner was getting his ass handed to him. Professor Hulk was getting his ass handed to him. And then he's like, in his head, he's like, Hulk, I need you. And then the Hulk emerges, his arm heals because the Hulk takes over.
Yeah.
And he runs over and he starts beating the hell out of Thanos and they have a fight. I honestly think, and this might be me looking too deeply into it, I think they sacrificed that Hulk scene to give it to Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't agree with that. No, I think they sacrificed it to give it to Captain America. To have him have the moment because they don't want to have too many people have their moment with Thanos. Like, they felt that the Hulk thing was they would take too much time and it would take away from Thor fighting Thanos, and Captain America fighting Thanos, and Iron Man fighting Thanos. So
the thing, though, the reason I say that, though, is if you look at the timing of the fight, though, because, Captain America doing it, it made sense for that point because at that time, him, Thor, and Iron Man were the only ones there.
Right.
Banner was still holding up what was left of the base. The reason I say that they did it for Captain Marvel was, A, because Captain Marvel, and B, at that time, what was the Hulk doing? He wasn't doing anything. So why didn't you give him that shot?
She got her ass handed to her, though. I mean,
right.
Yeah, she should have.
So, but here's my thing. She didn't need another moment. She already had a moment where she saved Stark. She destroyed Thanos' ship. Then after that, with Spider-Man helping the other female Avengers. Why did she need a moment against Thanos fighting him? Like, why?
Because she was supposed to be the Marvel's great savior.
Well, they didn't really do that with this movie, though. The Russos weren't having it with that. She was there, but she wasn't the savior at all.
No.
No, they made her get her knocked on her ass for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying just cut that part and give that to the Hulk.
Yeah.
Instead of him getting knocked out by the power